Well, we're here today with Dr. Kim Walls. And Dr. Walls, thank you very much for agreeing to sit down and talk with our class. Just as by way of introduction, you're talking to CTCT 7016, which is Leading Student Organizations. And I think with the exception of maybe one student, everyone is ag teachers or has an agriculture teacher background. And we have one technology teacher that we're very thankful to have in our class. And we just wanted to, we've been doing several videos around campus, kind of introducing our distance students. Some of them have never been on campus, and some it's been several years, and so things change a lot. And we want to show them the campus and introduce them to as many people as possible that are influential in our degree program. And of course, that's one of the reasons why we called you. Dr. Walls is serving as our head here in curriculum and teaching, and I'll just let you tell a little bit about yourself. I know you are from Alabama. We may have some students that are from your hometown.
That's right. I grew up in Alabama and was a product of the public schools in Alabama, and my teaching experience was also in Alabama. I was a school band director, so I was always friends with the agriculture and shop teachers because
good.
we were all in the back of the school, you know.
Yeah, that's right. They kept us out there where our noise wouldn't bother the rest of the
That's
school.
right.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, very good. And so we are featuring this week time management, and I know that's a super important skill for any teacher, really. As much as we have on our plates as far as teaching 6 or 7 hours of school every day, and then with these guys in this class is very similar to what you faced with a music teacher and band director of your job begins after school ends. You know, a lot of times it's like a full-time job, and it's the same way with their FFA chapters. You know, they're having practice nearly every day of the week, and they're traveling, going somewhere, and so it's an enormous responsibility that I feel like this could just be my bias, but I don't think that maybe the math or the English teacher necessarily understands what it means to be a teacher that has a co-curricular part that's an enormous job. And so anyhow, we understand that time management is very important. So I thought I might just ask you, you know, being moving into the department head position here,
Yes.
and also maybe from your experience as a teacher and as a professor, you know, do you have any advice on time management, on how we make the most? I have this friend that always tells me when I tell him that I don't have enough time, he says, you know, everybody has 24 hours. There's no,
That's right.
we all have the same amount of time.
That's true.
It's how you manage it, I guess. So any advice on managing your time in a busy schedule?
Well, it's always a challenge, but I would say that for me, I have to plan pretty much a year ahead of time.
Wow,
So-
that's way out there.
Yeah, so, well, if you think about it, your first year teaching, you don't know what you're up against, okay? You may know, okay, well, we're going to the state fair or something
Sure, some
in spring.
vague dates.
But you really don't know all of the activities that your FFA group or your student group is going to be involved in, and what sorts of projects you're going to have to do for your principal and all of that. And for myself, as being a new interim department head, what I should do is go to my calendar, and these big projects and deadlines that I'm having this year, I should put on my calendar, so then this summer I could look back at the calendar and go, okay, next year, probably these are things I'm going to have to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So kind of hindsight is 20/20, they say, and
That's right.
and history tends to repeat itself. Yeah. Well, we've talked a little bit in our coursework about Stephen Covey and his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he describes a time management matrix where he divides it up into 4 quadrants, and he says in quadrant 2 you're constantly doing things that are important but not urgent, and so you're doing them before they become urgent, and that's what I hear you saying, is looking a year ahead and planning for things and doing for things before they have to be done today, and there'll be plenty of that anyway.
That's right, because your principal will come to you and say, oh, the parents want to know if your kids can do this.
Right.
And you need to be able to say, well, I'm sorry, but we've already planned a concert or a field trip, and the parents have already know about it, and they're planned for their child to be there, and so I don't know how I can get all the parents and the students involved in something that's happening in 2 days.
They get double booked, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you say from what you've seen in teachers over the year, how much would you say poor time management even contributes to maybe teachers quitting their jobs?
Or being fired, I would
being
say.
fired.
What's That's the number one reason for being fired, being
Wow.
late or absent.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's the number one reason. So you've
Yeah.
got to be
Yeah,
there.
I'm gonna set my watch a little faster. That's amazing. I see agriculture teachers as, I mean, I'm sure it's probably true with most teachers, but particularly interact with a lot of agriculture teachers, and I see just kind of them getting buried under all these things and all this time commitment, and it's a crunch, and every day is just putting out a lot of fires, and it creates a lot of stress. And I don't have any empirical evidence on this, and Eric is right now trying to gather that, as a matter of fact,
Okay.
of how maybe this contributes to teachers leaving the field, but I can certainly see how it could.
I do too, because you feel like you're just spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere. So those in the habits book, where they talk about you're working on the important things, then when these little fires have to be put out, you can do it and still be making headway
Right, sure.
on what's important. And then there are lots of times where you just need to say, sorry, but I need to say no.
That's right.
Or somebody else can take care of this, or
That's hard to do.
I need to put this aside for later when I have time.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I know that our students are happy to get to put a face with the name. I know most of our graduate students probably in this class have applied and sent their materials to you. I think that your name was appearing whenever they were sending their materials in, and so I wanted them to get a chance to meet you today and just get a little nugget of advice from somebody who has a real demand for their time. I know, and I think I've told you before, if you have to give every faculty member here as much time as you have to give me, there's no way that you're going to have enough hours in the day. And by the way, just to kind of give our students a general view, I mean, it doesn't have to be absolutely, right down to the T. Approximately how many students total does curriculum and teaching serve, and faculty members, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot with these numbers, but I know we are one of the largest majors, or the largest departments, I should say.
We are, and in fact, this week I'm supposed to be writing a report for the dean that will have all this information. But off the top of my head, we have about 1,200 undergraduates and 600 graduate students. I think we have 66 employees that I'm directly responsible for, and about 60 others that I'm one layer above their supervisor.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot of email,
So
a
that's
lot of
about
meetings.
2,200 people. Whenever they need something, they email you. They have your
Yeah,
name.
it's fun.
I have Eric, and it's sometimes it's more than I can handle. No, not really. He handles more than I do, I should say. But so that's an enormous demand on your time, and I'm sure that being a planner and someone who looks into the future is just utmost importance to survival.
It really is, because you have all of these people coming to you with neat ideas, and you have to somehow sift among them and go, okay, which one of these things can really happen, and which one can contribute to all the other ideas that other people have. So
Yeah,
it does take a lot
you need
of
a
time.
full-time person just to sift through your emails, see which ones.
That's right. I've been thinking about doing that. Yeah.
Phew, terrible job. All right, well, thank you again, Dr. Walsh. We appreciate the advice, and for my students, it's very nice to meet you.
Well, thank you for the opportunity, Dr. Parr. I hope that all of you get a lot out of your graduate education. It really does change you.